Now that Donald Trump has been sworn in again as the US president, what impact is he going to have on sport? Because America is at the heart of so many major events coming up over the next few years. In 2026, it's the FIFA World Cup, shared with Mexico and Canada, two nations that he's now bickering with regard to tariffs and also the border crossing in Mexico. So how will that play out? In 2028, it's the LA Olympic Games. But perhaps the area he's going to have most impact most quickly is in the debate and the discussions around transgender athletes in sport.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So where does that leave transgender athletes and the transgender movement and the intersex movement and LGBTQI plus generally? I thought I'd bring you not just what Trump had to say at his inauguration speech, but the three leading candidates to be the next president of the International Olympic Committee. That vote will happen in March. The three leading candidates are here.
If you don't mind, I don't want to get into the nuts and bolts, but what I will say is you have to have a clear policy. This isn't a nice to have. You have to have a clear policy. And you have to put the flagpole in the ground, and you're never going to satisfy everybody. And it is a sensitive subject. Of course, I recognize it's a sensitive subject, and I always try where possible to couch my own language on the basis that it was a member of my family that was being discussed in that way. But I am elected to do a few really clear mandated things. And one of those is to be absolutely unambiguous about the importance of women's sport.
That's not an easy topic, to be honest. And I was probably the only one to address a little bit this topic in my manifesto, which could be seen as quite dangerous. But I think when you're running for a position, you are not only you can't not only address easy topics. You have also to deal with topics that are not easy. And the next Olympic Games will be in US, and you also saw the statement in US regarding transgender. And sure, it will not be an easy topic. However, I think there are 3 points. The first one is we must respect the right of everybody to make a transition if this is their desire. So that's the first statement. Second statement, all the transgender are welcome in the world of sport, and we want to have all the transgender to do sport, to practice sport. But the third point, which is in fact the one of the Olympic Games and the competition, in which way the participation of a transgender will affect the fair competition or not. And this is a question we have to answer. And we have also to recognize that the answer can be different in between some sports. If you are in cycling, in track cycling, it could be a little bit different than, in shooting or sailing. And as long as it doesn't affect the fair competition, we don't have any problem. But if it can affect the fair competition, then we have to take some decision. This is why, for example, in the UCI, we had to take the decision that for international races, transgender are not allowed to compete or as their new transgender position. But they are, of course, welcome. They can participate in mass participation. So that's not an easy topic, and the answer can be a little bit different from one sport to another.
We have to make sure that the integrity, fairness, and equality in sports is maintained. And that has to do with doping, that has to do with gender, that has to do with illegal betting, that has to do with match fixing. And all of these things with technology that we hope that we can make it work for us. It's pretty ambitious. And I think that when I go to my colleagues in January to present this, and certainly at the time of the election, this will have to be put down into a list of very precise measures that, if I get elected, would have to be prioritized.
Thanks for your support. And if you'd like to hear my interviews in full, don't forget to subscribe to the Sports Ambassador podcast, where sport always matters. You can find it on Spotify or Patreon, or continue following what I do here on YouTube and X.